This is The Caretaker, and you are listening to The Graveyard Show.
Welcome to The Graveyard.
And welcome to another edition of the Graveyard Show podcast. I am your caretaker, and the graveyard is open. Well, happy summer, everybody. Hope all of you are doing well out there. Here in Los Angeles, it's been miserable these last few weeks. We've gone from when is June gloom leaving to when's it coming back? Because it has absolutely been abysmal here. We haven't even gotten to the peak of summertime yet here in Los Angeles, and I am not looking forward to that at all. But it's been a while since I've joined you here inside the graveyard, and I thought I would do this particular podcast on horror news, some upcoming movies, and as well as some of the trailers that I've been seeing out there. There's quite a lot going on out there, and when I say horror news, I'm not talking about the usual horror sites. I'm talking about the mainstream news sites that are publishing a lot of news regarding horror shows and films and upcoming projects. So I'm going to get into that in just a minute, and then I'll talk about some of the trailers that I've seen, and we'll also look at some of the upcoming movies that are coming out, and then I will let you know what you can find on the Graveyard Show podcast's YouTube channel, as well as other video streaming sites. If you are new to the program, welcome. If you are a regular listener, welcome back. It's great having you back. Great meeting you if you're new. And, well, there are more and more of you joining me on YouTube and other video streaming sites as well, which is really nice to see. It's a slow and steady climb. I am in no hurry. I am in no rush. The more the merrier. And like they say, moving with the speed of a tortoise. And I'm fine with that. But yeah, there are more and more of you finding the program. And that's good to see, and I can also let you know what you have missed if you are only subscribing to the Graveyard Show podcast on any podcasting sites only. I'll get into that in a little bit, but first, let's talk some horror news. A couple of stories here. Well, first of all, I'm going to say that these next few stories I'm going to tribute to the website Deadline. These come from them, and the first two are going to be A24 stories. A24 lands the horror spec script Mice from Todd Spence and Zach White. And looks like David Bruckner is going to be tied to directing the project as well. There's not much known regarding the plot of the script. Seems like everybody's mum on the subject. And as far as our director of the project, David Bruckner, well, of course, you'll know him from the horror anthology film VHS, as well as The Ritual, The Night House, and of course the reboot he directed for Hulu for the film Hellraiser. So A24, stand by for the movie Mice coming our way sometime down the road. Also, A24 has secured a new investment by Josh Kushner's Thrive Capital, valuing the company now at $3.5 billion. A24 has closed an investment round led by Thrive Capital, the New York investment firm of Josh Kushner, who will join the Indie Distributors Board of Directors. The company also received increased support from existing investors who participated in the previous round, including Ken Fox's private equity firm Stripes and the investment fund Neuberger Berman. There was no dollar figure given in the announcement of the fundraise. The company's second in 2022. It secured a $225 million equity investment led by Stripes that valued A24 at $2.5 billion. Deadline hears the investment announced today reps an increase in valuation of 40% since then, valuing it at just over $3.5 billion. Wow. Josh Kushner is the brother of Jared Kushner, of course, Donald Trump's son-in-law. He has also backed OpenAI, Instagram, Spotify, and Stripe, to name a few. And Thrive has about $16 billion in assets under management. So big news for A24. AMC has renewed Interview with the Vampire for Season 3. Season 2 is going to wrap up on June 30th. It looks like Season 3 is going to be leaning into the Vampire Lestat book because it's going to be following Lestat as he starts his band and going on tour. So there you go. I don't recall that being in the Interview with the Vampire book. Some of you out there, though, may correct me on that, but I remember Lestat in the rock band in the book, but not in Interview. So anyway, if you're a fan of the show, Interview with the Vampire, well, you're going to get at least one more season of that. Amazon MGM lands the zombie package I Used to Eat Brains, Now I Eat Kale, from Ryan Gosling's general admission. It is, let me see here. Amazon MGM Studios has landed I Used to Eat Brains, Now I Eat Kale, a zombie feature package based on the same name adventure comedy short story from Adam and Daniel Cooper, a.k.a. the Cooper Twins. The story is set in a post-apocalyptic world where former zombies struggle to reintegrate. Ryan Gosling and Jesse Henderson will produce the film under their first look deal with the studio through recently launched banner General Admission. And there you go. Let's see. Doesn't say when it will be coming out, but we'll all be staying tuned for that. Emily Whitesell to adapt Lindy Ryan's horror mystery novel Bless Your Heart for television. Writer and showrunner Emily Whitesell from Siren has been tapped to adapt Bless Your Heart, Lindy Ryan's debut novel for television in conjunction with Rain Productions and Boilermaker Entertainment. Bless Your Heart is a horror mystery novel set in a small southeast Texas town where the dead have a habit of rising from their graves. The story revolves around 4 generations of Evans women who run the local funeral parlor and are tasked with making sure dead things stay buried. In book 1 of the series, family secrets come to light, and the Evans women are forced to confront the truth that the biggest monster may be one of their own. Mia Goth. Well, she's got Maxine coming out, but during one of the red carpets, she was asked about the film Blade, where it seems to be kind of in limbo right now. Not in limbo, but it's kind of being delayed, I should say. But Mia Goth is supposed to be in the film, supposed to be playing Lilith, which, if you've read Tomb of Dracula comic books, you know that Lilith is Dracula's daughter. But she was asked regarding that, and she basically says they want to make a great movie, and we're kind of standing by. That's kind of all I got. So it looks like Blade is still moving forward, but not so fast where it's going to be coming out anytime soon. But I'll get into Mia Goth and Maxine in just a few. I want to wrap up with this one from Deadline, because it relates to this show as well. Brandon Scott and Chrissy Fox are going to be starring in the meta-slasher Big Baby from Spider-1. And it looks like Cher is going to be one of the executive producers of it. So if you're not familiar with Big Baby, it was it was featured in their previous film that Chrissy was starring in and Spider directed, called Allegoria. And when they were on this program promoting the film, I had this to say to them. Also, I have a request. You have to make the movie Big Baby. I don't care what you have to do. You need to do it. It's stuck in my brain. And
we have not had one interview where that has not been a request. So I think it's happening.
You have to do it.
Yeah, it is. It was such a funny thing that to do, and we filmed that completely separate from the rest of the movie in even in the style, in the spirit of the low budge '80s. We just went out in the woods with a couple people and one light and a cheaper camera, so it wouldn't look as nice
And a super soaker full of blood.
yeah. So, Big Baby has become definitely a favorite of Allegoria.
I love it. It's great. And I'm really thrilled that they're going to go ahead and do it. That is awesome. I'm not going to get into the plot or any of it that is written about here in Deadline, but check out Allegoria. It's Big Baby is something, it kind of reminds me of like, it would have been a trailer in the Grindhouse double feature all those years ago. I think it kind of has that feel. I loved it. I thought it was so good. So anyway, so I'm glad to see the Spider-One's going to move ahead with it. Good to see Chrissy Fox attached to that. Brandon Scott, I loved him in Channel Zero. And I think this should be a lot of fun. And check out Allegoria to find Big Baby. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Turning to Bloody Disgusting, they have a story about EC Comics. And EC Comics is revealing 3 new horror hosts for this year's revival of the comic. Gone are the Crypt Keeper, the Old Witch, and the Vault Keeper, being replaced by new hosts for a new generation. The Wrap revealed in their exclusive report that the 3 hosts designed by artist Dustin Weaver are the Grave Digger, the Tormentor, and the Grim Inquisitor. So you will find them being revealed this August in the revival of EC Comics. And if you want to check out what they look like, you can go to Bloody Disgusting as well as The Wrap to see what they look like. The Strangers Chapter 1 is heading to 4K in July with audio commentary. It's going to be heading to 4K, let me see here, July 16th. No, I'm sorry. It'll be on digital July 16th, and it will be on 4K Blu-ray and DVD on July 23rd. So there you go. The physical media will be released a week after the digital version. You're going to have audio commentary. You're going to have a feature called Reimagining a Classic, Making the Strangers Chapter 1. A featurette, A Hostile Environment, the visual design of The Strangers Chapter 1, as well as the trailer. And again, you can find the digital copy July 16th and the Blu-ray, 4K, and DVD on July 23rd. Last but not least, fans of The Thing. Well, you're going to be getting that mega documentary that our friends over at Creator VC are starting to put together. And if you're just learning about that, go check it out. You can go to Creator VC site and read all about it. They're putting that together while also putting final touches on the Aliens expanded super documentary. By the way, keep a lookout for that. And with The Thing, they are asking for fans' input. So if you're a big fan of The Thing, go on to the Creator VC website, and you should be able to find a questionnaire regarding The Thing and what you want to see, etc., etc., etc. But more importantly, our friends over at Funko have a version of our favorite hero, MacReady. Yes, you can get a MacReady Funko toy. Yep. Equipped with flamethrower. I wonder if there's a bottle of JB that comes with that as well. And the was it the chess game he was playing, that 1980s looking that he poured the JB into. Anyway, you can find that at Funko, as well as a battle damaged Megan, or Me-Thregan, as Chucky called her, there as well. Oh, speaking of Chucky, you can also get a Funko version of the I Do Bride and Groom, the Bride of Chucky Funko toys as well. So there you have it. A lot of Funko news for you there. Didn't expect that one. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for the news, but let's talk about some trailers, and there are a lot of them that are out there, a lot of horror trailers, and films that look like they're really going to be good. So let's start with a science fiction horror film. Of course, Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. It looks like it's a throwback to the original Alien and Aliens, and, well, I guess Alien 3, actually. A throwback to that sort of alien film. And the film is due to be released in August. I believe it's August 16th is its release date. Check it out. There are 2 trailers, I believe, now for it, and it's looking really good. Kaylee Spaney, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's one of the stars of the film. Of course, you know her from Priscilla, Civil War, as well as Devs, and I'm a big fan of her work. I think she's a really, really good actress. So looking forward to seeing Alien Romulus. Next up, we have The Inheritance, which is due out, let's see here, very, very soon, actually. A couple of weeks, July 12th, it looks like. And this one is sort of a interesting one. It looks like it's kind of like a remake of The Legacy. If you've ever seen that, I think it was 78 or 79, The Legacy. Check it out. It is it's a kind of a weird movie, but this one looks kind of interesting. I fear that they may have shown too much. The plot is a billionaire on the eve of his 75th birthday invites his estranged children back home out of fear that tonight someone or something is going to kill him. He puts each of their inheritances on the line to make sure they'll help. So, The Inheritance. Check it out online. See what you think. Let me know what you think. Another film coming out called Speak No Evil. Mackenzie Davis and James McAvoy star in this one. And it looks like it's due out sometime in September 13th. It is a remake. It's a remake of a 2022 Danish film titled the same way, Speak No Evil. Director James Watkins brings this film to life. A family is invited to spend a weekend in an idyllic country house, unaware that their dream vacation will soon become a psychological nightmare. I'm having fun with this, a little too much fun. So it's coming out in September, and, well, between now and then, you have time to check out the original. And also, you know, it's interesting because when I see that, I think of the movie The Vanishing. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but you have the European version. I want to say it was in Sweden, but I could very well be wrong. It may have been a Swedish film, but regardless, find the original. It is so well done and a little disturbing as well. But check it out. I never saw the U.S. remake because I didn't think that they would do what they did in the original. I just don't think the U.S. audiences would have wanted the movie to end the way that film ended. But check it out. It's a really, 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 really well done film. And there you go. I came across this one, Cuckoo. It's directed by Tillman Singer, who also wrote the script. A 17-year-old girl is forced to move with her family to a resort where things are not what they seem. Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens is in it. And boy, Dan Stevens, he's really gone very far away from his Downton Abbey days. He's picked some interesting films. But check it out, Cuckoo. It is really crazy trailer. I think you'll enjoy it. Also, speaking of picking a really interesting role, the movie Heretic is going to be coming out in November. And the film is it's two women who are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. Basically, I can't tell if they're like Jehovah's Witnesses, but the young women are going house to house, talking about religion. And of course, Hugh Grant says, "Come in, come in." And then everything starts to spiral out of control. It's a really well done trailer, and I think seeing Hugh Grant as a villain in this is going to be really good. I can't wait to check it out. All right, now let's get to the heavy hitters here, the main ones. Well, of course, we have Maxine coming out in a few days, the third in the X trilogy. I'll get into Maxine in a little bit because I want to talk about the other films, X and Pearl. Then Smile 2 dropped its trailer, or some people called it the Lady Gaga movie, because it looks like the pop star is a Lady Gaga type. So about to embark on a world tour, global pop sensation Sky Riley begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressures of fame, Sky is forced to face her past. Parker Finn wrote and directed the film, and you have Naomi Scott as the star, and it looks interesting. Although what is interesting is depending on what site you're watching the trailer, a lot of people feel like, well, did we need to make a Smile 2? Because a lot of them are like, well, it's either going to end this way or this way, and that's kind of it. So I'm curious to see what fan reaction is. I liked Smile. I didn't love Smile. I thought it was good. There were some really creepy moments in it, but there was some of it that I kind of had a problem with. I don't recall, actually, if really we have a sussed out villain in the Smile demon thing. And it just feels like I didn't get enough of the rules to really kind of know about the creature. But Smile 2 is coming to a theater near you in October. So there you go. Halloween release. Can't wait for that one. All right. Now, we have the two that I really want to talk about, and they look really, really good. Long Legs. One word if you're not familiar with this film. Written and directed by Oz Perkins. Starring one of my favorite actresses, Micah Monroe. Of course, you know her from It Follows and The Watcher. And also Nicolas Cage and Blair Underwood are going to be in this film as well. So, I mean, that's a good lineup just to start. So this is going to be released, I believe, I want to say October, but I am way off. It's going to be in July, so it's coming out soon, so you can get ready for it. It is in pursuit of a serial killer. An FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. If you are not familiar with this trailer, check it out. Watch it. It is great. You're probably going to watch it a few times, and I can't wait to see this movie. This is one of those ones that I will be there for when it opens. And then, last but not least, normally I'm not a fan of remakes. I kind of go back to 2009 and 10 when we had just everything was a remake, and it just really kind of turned me off. This one I can't wait for because I know it's going to be done well. I knew it was going to be done well before I even saw the trailer. You probably already know what I'm talking about. It's Robert Eggers, who is the director of The Lighthouse and The Witch. And if you have not seen those films, you should see those films. He did a remake of the all-time great film Nosferatu. And man, this trailer is so good. It is so good. First of all, Bill Skarsgård is playing Count Orlok. And of course, well, we all know Bill from It because he was Pennywise. Of course, he was also in The Barbarian, among other movies. Barbarian, I think, it's just a great underrated film. And I think as years go by, people are really going to find that film. Aaron Taylor Johnson, William Dafoe, and Nicholas Hoult, Emma Corrin are going to be in Nosferatu. And it is so good. It's so good because you see Robert Eggers' style immediately, and it fits so well for this story and with the legacy of Nosferatu. Werner Herzog, of course, did the 1979 version, and of course, you have the original 1922 version, and it's just so good. I cannot wait for this to come out. It's coming out Christmas, and yeah, this is going to be good. So check it out, Nosferatu. And if you've not seen either of the other two versions that I mentioned, you should check them out. They are both amazing, and especially the original silent classic, one of the greats. I think actually this year in LA, usually around Halloween here in Los Angeles at the Walt Disney Hall, they have a silent movie that they show with a live pipe organist. My wife and I went to see Phantom of the Opera many, many years ago there. It was amazing. I believe this year is the original Nosferatu. So if you live in LA, check it out this October. All right. So that does it for trailers. Getting back to Maxine. Maxine is due out July 5th. And as of right now, it's at an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's 37 reviews. It went down a little bit because I checked yesterday and it was at 92%, I think, at 32 reviews. So it's kind of gone down a little bit, but it is on par with X and Pearl. X had a 94% tomato meter and 76% audience reply or response. And then Pearl had a 92% tomato meter with critics and an 83% tomato meter with the audience. So it looks like Maxine is right on par with the two other films. And I got to tell you, I loved both those films. I'm a big fan of Ty West movies anyway, and you team him with Mia Goth, and yeah, that's a dream team right there. So I can't wait. I will be there opening night to see Maxine in theaters. Even if this thing got 20% on the tomato meter, it wouldn't matter. I would have been there to see the third film in this trilogy. I think it's just a great trilogy. I think it'll end up being a great trilogy once we get to see Maxine. The first two films are just fantastic. Meanwhile, A Quiet Place Day 1 is opening on June 28th. As of right now, I haven't seen anything regarding reviews for the film. Let me quickly take a look and see if anything has come up, because I know a lot of times they'll do embargoes on reviews until like a day or so before. And here it is. It is 87% on the tomato meter, and now that's 90 reviews. So there you go. A Quiet Place Day 1, as of right now, is 87% on the tomato meter with 90 reviews in. And, well, there you go. And sadly, The Watcher and The Exorcism, I guess, are kind of limping along. The Watcher was 31% critics tomato meter, 52% audience tomato meter. The Exorcism was 28 and 36 respectively for those tomato meter ratings. And I'm not really sure how well either movie did financially. I think The Watcher did okay, but I have not seen either one yet, but I will definitely catch those at some point soon. All right, that's going to wrap it up for news, trailers, and movies. Regarding the Graveyard Show podcast, if you are new to this podcast, welcome. And what I want to let you know is that if you're a podcast subscriber, you should strongly consider finding the Graveyard Show podcast online, either on YouTube or any of the other video streaming sites. There's a lot more content there outside of the podcast. You can go there, you can take a look. Because the last podcast that I did was Tombstone number 70, which was back in April, mid to late April. And we're talking a little over 2 months ago. And the one I did before that was in March. And then those are the only 2 other podcasts I've done in 2024. This is only my 3rd for this year. But if you were a subscriber online, you would have seen trailers for The More or What Remains, as well as Trim Season, which has come out, or the Aliens Expanded official trailer, Chapter 1, The Strangers Chapter 1 trailer, Late Night with the Devil trailer. There's more on my video sites because I started opening it up more outside of the podcast. And I also do some video productions on YouTube as well, called The Caretaker Reveals, where I show horror or science fiction items that I have, whether it's DVDs, steelbook, or box sets, or programs, or stuff that I just think that you might find interesting that I feature. And then there's the big one that I do on there called Catacombs of Horror, which generally are about 20 to 50-minute video productions where I discuss a film. Usually it's favorite scenes. I've done my favorite scenes from Count Yorga Vampire or Return to Count Yorga, Halloween 4. I did one on Is Evil Dead the greatest horror franchise of all time? Well, I just launched my latest one, and it's called Analyzing Night of the Living Dead. And this one I did a little differently. Normally it's just me talking and going through the movie. And with this one, what I decided to do was I took excerpts from interviews that I did with Judith O'Dea, who played Barbara in the original Night of the Living Dead. And the bulk of it is Kim Paffenroth, who came on this program many, many years ago to promote his book, Gospel of the Living Dead, George Romero's vision of hell on earth. We talked about, at that time, the 4 zombie movies Romero did. And I took those excerpts from our conversations about Night of the Living Dead and I added it to this Catacombs of Horror. So it's not just me talking about the movie, but also what Kim and I discussed as far as analyzing the film, discussing what zombies represent, how relationships are affected by original sin. We talked about, obviously, the very controversial ending to Night of the Living Dead, what the posses represented, and also about the very unlikable characters in that movie. And so anyway, so you can find that online at YouTube or any of your other video streaming sites you go to. If there's a website or a streaming site that you go to and you can't find the Graveyard Show podcast, please drop me a line. You can email me here at gyspodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave comments on other video streaming sites saying, hey, can you go here? The only places I won't upload to are places that I have to pay for subscription. I'm not going to do that. I do this for free. I do this for fun, so I'm not going to go out of pocket to produce any content that I have to pay for. That's not going to happen. So if you have any free sites, because I know sometimes new ones pop up every now and then, but yeah, check out YouTube, or you can check out some of the other video streaming sites. The one you cannot find on YouTube is my one Catacombs of Horror. That's my favorite scenes from Blackula. The YouTube AI has gotten so strict and so ridiculously hard to try to get things uploaded that it basically chopped my video down to nothing. So that's the reason why I've gone outside of YouTube to publish content, because on these other streaming sites, I can upload things freely there and not be censored. So check it out, Catacombs of Horror on YouTube and other streaming sites. And, of course, the Graveyard Show podcast is what you would be looking up to make your life easier. Everything is under that one umbrella. All right, that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this look at trailers and films and horror news. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Or if you'd like to email me, please do so. In the meantime, enjoy your summer and have a very fun summer season. And as you exit the graveyard, I would like to remind you to please lock the gate behind you. We wouldn't want anyone to get out. Until next time.